Sellers in Cape Coral are getting frustrated watching their homes sit for over 200 days without a serious offer. Meanwhile, other homes in the same neighborhood are getting multiple offers the first weekend and going under contract fast. Today, I'm breaking down why that's happening and what buyers are paying attention to right now. I've been in this market for over 27 years, and one mistake is turning buyers away before they even make an offer. One thing about a buyer's market is that people finally have time to slow down and compare homes. Homes are not disappearing in a weekend like they were a few years ago, and that's pretty much where the market is right now across Cape Coral and Fort Myers. Earlier this year, the area had around 12,000 active listings on the market. Back in 21, a well-priced home could disappear in 5 days, but that's not the market anymore. Cape Coral has been sitting around 6 to 9 months of inventory lately, so buyers have way more options now. Homes priced well are still moving in around 50 to 55 days, and inventory there has already dropped around 27% year over year. Fort Myers has been a little slower, closer to 65 days on market, and homes that get relisted after failing to sell are taking more than 200 days to finally close. So pricing wrong from the beginning can drag things out for months. Inventory there has also started coming down, dropping around 24% year over year. The market has been improving overall, but homes in better locations and priced correctly are selling much faster than others. Now, a big reason for this split market is how much things have changed after Hurricane Ian hit Southwest Florida back in September 2022 as a Category 4 hurricane. More than 5,000 homes in Lee County were destroyed, and another 1,000 more had major damage. That changed the insurance market in a big way. Then, mortgage rates climbed, pandemic speculation started cooling off, and FEMA had already overhauled how flood insurance gets priced from property to property. In a minute, I'm going to show you the insurance numbers, making buyers completely rethink whether a home still works for their budget or not. That's what's hitting the market and creating a situation where two homes at a similar price can end up with very different outcomes. If you don't know what buyers are looking for, your home can end up sitting on the market or deals can start falling apart. Now, if you're buying or selling in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, or Lehigh Acres and want a straight read on your situation, we can help you with that. Thank us for pointing out homes that looked great online but probably would have turned into expensive problems later. We've also had sellers trust our pricing strategy and get strong offers in this tough market. So reach out. My contact info is in the description below. Alright, let's get back to it. A house can look great online with an updated kitchen, fresh paint, nice yard, and still sit on the market for months without a serious offer. I've seen many sellers confused by that. But across Cape Coral and Fort Myers, buyers are much more selective now than they were a few years ago. They don't have to rush into the first house they see anymore. If one property has issues, they can move on and look at many others the same week. A big reason buyers move so quickly now is that they're paying much closer attention to the condition of the major systems in the house. That's why the homes struggling the most are the ones needing bigger repairs because they don't have cosmetic stuff like paint colors or light fixtures. I'm talking about roofs, plumbing, electrical, AC systems, or foundation problems. Back in 2021, buyers overlooked those kinds of things because inventory was really low and people were competing for anything they could get. But that's changed now. I've seen homes that look good overall sit on the market because the inspections came back with roof or electrical issues, and buyers just move on to another property. On top of that, if the house isn't priced right, buyers are skipping past it pretty fast. But a lot of sellers are still pricing homes like it's 2022. I understand why that happens. People still have peak market numbers stuck in their heads, but buyers today are looking at current sales, not pandemic pricing. Right now, homes in Cape Coral and Fort Myers that get relisted after failing to sell are sitting on the market for over 200 combined days before finally closing. And when they do sell, they're closing around $40,000 to $45,000 below the original asking price. So overpricing a home usually doesn't lead to a higher sale price later. It just keeps the home sitting longer and creates more stress along the way. Later on, I'll show you the practical way I'm helping sellers price homes right and get more offers in this market. But there's another factor shaping buyer decisions that most sellers don't fully understand yet. A buyer can love a house, get under contract, call an insurance company, and then suddenly the numbers change the whole deal. That's happening across Southwest Florida right now. Insurance is no longer something buyers check at the very end. Actually, it's totally the opposite. Buyers are getting insurance quotes before making an offer early on in the buying process because they want to know what the real monthly payment is going to look like before moving forward. And once you add up the mortgage, taxes, homeowners insurance, and flood insurance, some homes end up costing hundreds more per month than buyers expected at first. When those numbers come back too high, buyers either renegotiate hard or walk away from the deal. In Lee County, homeowners insurance for a non-waterfront home is averaging around $3,500 to $5,000 a year. But depending on the age of the home, the roof, how close it sits to the water, and the condition of the property, that number can climb even higher. And flood insurance is separate from homeowners insurance. insurance. For homes sitting in flood zones like AE, flood insurance alone can range from around $1,000 to $5,000 a year or even more. That's one of the reasons some Gulf access homes in Cape Coral are getting harder to sell unless the monthly numbers work for the buyer. This is also changing how buyers compare older homes against newer construction. A newer home built after the updated Florida building codes usually comes with impact windows, stronger hurricane protection, newer roofs, and elevated foundations. Insurance on those homes can end up much lower compared to an older home at a similar price that doesn't have those upgrades. So a buyer comparing an older home in Southwest Cape Coral against a newer home in Northwest Cape Coral may realize the newer home is cheaper every month once insurance gets added in, even if the older home has a lower purchase price. That difference can easily add another $300 to $500 a month to the total payment on the older property. In a minute, I'll break down the practical things sellers are doing to keep deals together in this market instead, so stay with me. Now, there is some good news though. Florida's insurance market has started stabilizing compared to the last few years. Citizens Insurance announced a statewide average rate reduction for both 2025 and 2026, and more insurance companies have started coming back into Florida since 2023. Reinsurance costs have also started coming down, which is helping take some pressure off the market. But these costs are still sitting much higher than they were before Hurricane Ian. Buyers and sellers in Southwest Florida still have to build those numbers into the deal from the beginning. On the other hand, the homes selling faster have a few things in common. What buyers want is to move in right after they close the deal. They don't want to deal with expensive problems. Nobody wants to replace the roof or fix the AC system right away. They also don't want major plumbing or electrical surprises a few days after they move in. That's becoming one of the biggest filters for buyers right now. So homes that are clean, updated, and well maintained are the ones selling in this split market. Sandoval in Southwest Cape Coral is a good example of that. Homes that meet those expectations are going under contract pretty fast. Buyers already know what they're getting before they even make the offer. Homes selling faster are also usually priced close to recent closed sales. Buyers and agents are watching sold numbers much more closely now than they were a few years ago. Homes in Cape Coral priced correctly from the beginning are going under contract in around 50 days. And insurance has become a major factor separating homes that move faster from the ones sitting longer. Homes with the upgrades insurance companies are looking for, especially lower flood risk areas, are getting much more attention right now. Northeast Cape Coral has been standing out for that reason. There's more newer construction there, more homes in lower flood risk areas, and buyers running the monthly numbers are finding those homes work better for their budget. So even when two homes are priced similarly, buyers are usually going for the home with lower insurance costs. And once you look at what buyers are choosing, it becomes pretty clear what sellers need to do differently. Most sellers already know the market has changed. They've seen homes sitting longer, price cuts happening, and buyers taking more time before making decisions. But most of them still haven't adjusted their expectations to how the market works today. So when they come to me, the first thing we usually discuss is the listing price. A lot of times they're giving me a number that I already know probably isn't going to work. But if I just throw out a lower number right away, I'm probably going to get frustrated faces back. Nobody likes hearing that they may need to lower the price more than they expected. So what I do instead is just go straight to the market data. I sit down with them and pull recent comps from the last 60 to 120 days. I show them what's happening in the same area and how homes with a similar size with similar conditions and features are really selling right now. I mean, we're basically doing the same thing buyers are already doing by themselves. They're comparing homes online every day. So after we run the numbers together, most sellers know where their house realistically fits and how to price it right. That's better than sitting on the market for months, cutting the price later and losing leverage once buyers see the home has been sitting too long. Now, the second thing sellers need to do is get ahead of inspection issues before the house goes live. If there are problems with the house, it's better to catch them as soon as possible, especially before the buyer goes under contract. Some sellers decide to fix those problems before listing. Others price the home around the repairs instead, or others just don't look for those problems up front. Either way, it's better to go into the market knowing where the house stands. And the third thing, which a lot of sellers aren't doing, is getting insurance quotes ready before buyers even ask for them. Get a homeowner's insurance quote before listing the property. If the home sits in a flood zone like AE, get a flood insurance quote too. You might already even have one. That way, buyers understand the monthly numbers much earlier in the process instead of getting surprised later once they're already under contract. And sellers who get ahead of that early are putting themselves in a much stronger position right now. A lot of sellers are getting frustrated with this market, but the ones coming in with the right strategy are getting strong offers and keeping deals together. If you're buying or selling in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, or Lehigh Acres and want a straight read on what's happening in your price range, email me at german@swflhouses.com. I'll tell you what I'm seeing in this market and what direction makes the most sense from here. Now, there are some hidden costs and risks that many real estate agents aren't telling buyers about living in Southwest Florida. So watch the video linked here where I break those down so you don't get caught by surprise later on. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.